The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Carl Jung. 13 signs your aura is too powerful for most people to handle. Jung knew this would happen. Part 1. What is an aura and why Carl Jung cared? Your aura isn't just some ethereal glow painted in spiritual artwork. From a psychological point of view, especially through the lens of Carl Jung's depth psychology, your aura is your unseen emotional frequency. It's the field of energy you broadcast, whether you mean to or not. People don't just respond to your actions or words. They respond to the energetic pressure your being exerts in a room. Jung didn't speak about auras in the mystical sense. Instead, he talked about the psyche, the unconscious, and the collective unconscious. Concepts that describe the field of psychological influence every human projects. We're more than just individuals. We're living, breathing energy fields shaped by our inner work, wounds, and self-awareness. Your aura becomes especially noticeable when you've done the deep work, facing your shadow, integrating it, and becoming whole. This isn't perfection, it's psychological integration. And that kind of wholeness is uncomfortable for people who are still living in fragmentation. When you've confronted your deepest wounds and reclaimed what you've hidden, your presence carries weight. You don't need to speak to shift a room's energy, and that shift often unsettles people. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because your truth highlights their avoidance. Why powerful auras unsettle people? Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls." That's the foundation of why people feel nervous, reactive, or even hostile around you. When you show up radiating alignment, emotional honesty, and unapologetic truth, you become a walking contradiction to their unconscious denial. You act as a mirror, and that reflection is often too much. Picture a room full of people wearing masks. You walk in without one. You don't need to say a word. Your presence calls out the performance. Your integrity becomes the silent threat. That's the power of a coherent aura. It reveals without attacking. And because of that, people may flinch, get defensive, or find you too intense. Others may admire you silently but never feel comfortable approaching. These are energetic reactions to the frequency you carry. Jung believed in psychological projection, the unconscious habit of displacing our inner conflicts onto others. And when your aura is strong, it blocks those projections. People can't easily cast their unhealed wounds onto you. You're too self-aware, too integrated. And that's when they turn inward, or lash out. How the psyche responds to wholeness. A strong aura doesn't emerge from surface-level spirituality. It's the result of inner excavation, shadow work, grief processing, owning your power and your flaws. Jung taught that individuation, the integration of your conscious and unconscious mind, creates a unified self. That self radiates energy that's aligned, centered, and deeply magnetic. And magnetic fields disrupt dissonant ones. As your aura strengthens, you'll notice how others react more intensely to your presence. You won't even need to speak for the room to feel it. This is because your inner wholeness contrasts with others' inner fragmentation, your presence and the collective unconscious. Jung introduced the idea of the collective unconscious, an inherited layer of the psyche shared across humanity. When you embody certain Jungian archetypes like the seer, the healer, or the rebel, you activate collective memory. You're not just triggering individual responses. You're waking up ancient instincts buried in people's psyches. People feel stirred around you, but they can't articulate why. It's not just you they're reacting to. It's the archetype you awaken within them. A powerful aura isn't just personal. It resonates with something far older and deeper than the individual ego. The disruptive nature of authenticity. In a society addicted to approval and performance, simply being yourself is an act of rebellion. Most people wear personas, the acceptable self they present to the world. But when you walk in unapologetically whole, you refuse to play the social game. That's disruptive. You're not being loud. You're not even being confrontational. But your quiet truth says to others, you don't have to pretend. And for those who aren't ready to drop the mask, your presence becomes too much. Part 2, 5 signs. Your aura is too powerful. And 1. People get visibly uncomfortable around you. You don't need to speak. You walk into a space and something shifts. People glance up. Some go quiet. Others start fidgeting or look away. And someone inevitably says, "You have a strong presence." That's not about looks or posture. That's psychological alignment speaking louder than words. Jung believed that someone who integrates their shadow and accepts themselves fully emits a psychic charge, and that charge disturbs those who haven't done the same. Sign 2. You attract both admiration and jealousy. People are drawn to your vibe, but not everyone stays. Some admire you, feel inspired. Others grow competitive or envious. This push-pull dynamic is a clear indicator of energetic power. You trigger projection. For some, you represent their potential. For others, you mirror their disowned parts. They want your self-trust, your emotional depth, but without doing the work. And so admiration often flips into resentment. Sign 3. Others project their insecurities onto you. You'll be misunderstood, misread, accused of being arrogant, judgmental, or emotionally cold when you've done nothing wrong. That's projection at work. When people haven't faced their shadow, they need someone to carry it for them. And if your aura is steady, it becomes the perfect screen. Jung taught that projection is the root of many social conflicts. But with awareness, you'll stop internalizing it and start seeing it for what it is: emotional outsourcing. Sign 4. Strangers have intense emotional responses. Have strangers ever vented to you, cried, or opened up about deeply personal things? Or conversely, reacted with hostility for no reason? That's your energetic field activating their unconscious. You radiate emotional depth, and that frequency reaches inside others, whether they like it or not. Jung called the unconscious a reservoir of suppressed emotion. When you stir it up, emotional storms follow. Sign 5. You're called too much or too intense. If people have said you're intimidating, too deep, too sensitive, take it as confirmation. Your energy doesn't play small, and in a world conditioned to stay shallow, depth is alienating. You're not too intense. You're just not operating in the same emotional poverty that many have normalized. Jung warned that the persona becomes a prison. You broke free, and that scares people. Part 3, 6 to 9. How your energy alters the atmosphere. Sign 6. You shift the room without trying. You walk in, and the mood shifts. It's subtle, but undeniable. That's your aura doing the talking. You don't need to make an entrance. Your coherence, emotional, spiritual, psychological, speaks volumes. You either lift the energy or unsettle it. Both reactions reveal the strength of your field. Even animals and children react, often more instinctively than adults. They sense the truth in you. Sign 7. People open up around you instantly. There's something about you that makes people speak from the heart. They skip small talk. They go straight into what hurts. That's because your aura gives off emotional safety. Jung said healing starts when the unconscious is made conscious. You invite that process, but be careful not to absorb too much. You're not a dumping ground. You're a mirror. Hold space, but protect yours. Sign 8. Superficial people avoid you. You don't have to push them away. Your energy does the filtering. People who thrive on surface-level drama, gossip, or performance feel uneasy around you. They might label you as boring, too serious, or different. That's projection. They're sensing that they can't wear their mask around you. You don't entertain illusions. That's threatening to those who rely on them. Sign 9. People feel either energized or drained around you. Some feel lit up after being near you. Others feel overwhelmed or agitated. This depends on the alignment between your aura and their unresolved energy. If someone is fragmented, your coherence feels like too much. You highlight what's missing in them. Others might try to cling to your energy like a lifeline. But you're not a battery charger. Protect your field. Jung emphasized healthy psychic boundaries. Know the difference between connection and energetic consumption. Part 4, Signs 10 to 13. The deeper psychological impact. Sign 10. Toxic people target you. Ironically, manipulators and narcissists are often drawn to you. They're looking for what they lack: integrity, self-awareness, peace. But they don't want to build it. They want to feed off yours. Jung noted that those who don't face their darkness try to dominate those who have. You're not here to be colonized energetically. Learn to recognize the difference between someone seeking healing and someone seeking control. Sign 11. Animals and children gravitate toward you. Unlike adults, animals and kids aren't filtered through ego. They feel energy directly. And if yours is clear, integrated, and heart-centered, they'll respond with trust. This isn't just charm, it's a spiritual signature. Jung's divine child archetype lives in you. That innocence is rare and deeply magnetic to the instinctual soul. Sign 12. You're calm in chaos, and it unnerves people. While others panic, you stay centered. That stability feels threatening to people addicted to noise and stimulation. Stillness is not passive, it's powerful. You're rooted in self-awareness and emotional regulation, and that energy unnerves those who haven't built that within themselves. Sign 13. You don't seek approval, and that makes you unpredictable. Most people shapeshift for acceptance. You don't. You don't apologize for your boundaries. You don't need applause. That kind of self-validation can't be manipulated. You're not playing the approval game. You've outgrown it. And in a world built on conformity, your sovereignty is terrifying. Part 5. How to embrace and protect your aura. A powerful aura is not a performance. It's not about being impressive. It's the result of emotional alignment, spiritual work, and daily self-reflection. Jung emphasized that wholeness isn't about being better. It's about being authentic. But with great energy comes great responsibility. Here's how to protect and refine your aura. See it as sacred. Your aura isn't a trophy, it's a tool. Use it to uplift, not to dominate. If you use your energy to manipulate or perform, it becomes polluted. Set energetic boundaries. You're not here to absorb everyone's pain. Ground yourself. Observe without internalizing. Learn to say no without guilt. Your compassion doesn't need to cost your peace. Embrace the role of a catalyst, not a savior. People will be moved by your presence, but that doesn't mean you're their healer. You can guide, but don't carry them. Jung said each soul must walk its own path. Practice daily self-renewal, solitude, movement, shadow work, stillness. These aren't luxuries, they're maintenance. Your aura shines because you keep it clean. Align your aura with a greater mission. Purpose purifies power. When your aura serves truth, healing, or consciousness, it becomes a spiritual force, not just magnetic, but revolutionary. Your energy is not an accident. It's your soul's signature. Your presence disturbs not because you're wrong, but because you're real. And in a world built on illusions, that's the most powerful thing you can be.